First, here at 5:30, a play-by-play of President Trump's record-long State of the Union speech as people around the country weigh in. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanet.
And I'm David Molko. The president calling this the, quote, golden age of America, launching what he called a war on fraud and getting into a shouting match with some Democrats. Alice Barr has the latest.
The President of the United States.
In the post-game playout from President Trump's State of the Union.
We are the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Both parties pushing toward a big theme, this year's midterm elections. With control of Congress on the line, Republicans confident the president's message on his top priorities gave them a boost.
We've got all the commercials we need for the midterms to show to the American people who is with them. It's Donald Trump and the Republican Party.
Republicans accusing Democrats of favoring immigrants over American citizens, leading to a mid-speech shouting match, with Democrats angered over the administration's enforcement tactics.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Removal of criminal aliens.
Democrats drilling down on high prices as a range of polls show the president losing ground on the economy. Newly elected Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger, held up as a model for midterm success, gave the formal Democratic response.
Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? We all know the answer is no.
President Trump blamed his predecessor and Democrats.
You caused that problem.
While pointing to falling gas prices and a rising stock market, but he offered little on new economic policies or acknowledgement of Americans' continued struggles.
It's what we live every single day, going to work, the grocery stores, cost of living, so the reality might be slightly different from his projected reality.
Voters looking for solutions from a divided Washington, with some midterm early voting already underway. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, meanwhile, Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs, who was in the House chamber for the speech, found one portion of the president's address, quote, horrifying. That is when the president doubled down on voter fraud and cheating, asking Congress to pass the Save America Act, which would, broadly speaking, require ID at the polls. The president also wants to ban mail-in voting in most circumstances. We should note there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud. Hobbs pointing to the fact that just 15 non-citizens have voted in Washington over the past 4 decades.
You got to ask yourself, is this non-citizen who wants to be in this country, wants to be a U.S. citizen, are they going to risk voting to simply be caught and deported? Because that's what happens.
Oh, the bill has already passed the House, though does not appear to have enough support in the Senate.
Americans stranded in Mexico due to unrest sparked by the death of a cartel leader are finally making their way back home. The U.S. State Department lifted its travel advisory Tuesday as conditions began to stabilize. This is video of the first direct flight from Puerto Vallarta to PDX that was not canceled since the unrest started over the weekend. At this point, most flights have resumed, with some airlines even adding extra flights to get people out of the country. While conditions have calmed considerably, the State Department is still warning Americans in some parts to shelter in place.
And tonight we're hearing from travelers who woke up to that chaos on Sunday, and a local travel expert reminding us that how you book your trip can often matter just as much as where you go.
Tayton Torgrimson has the story.
Spoke with Todd Zimmerman, who was in Mexico with his wife and 2 other couples. He and his wife were supposed to be the last of their friends leaving Mexico today, but now the other couples were forced to wait until Thursday to leave. He says the hardest part was waking up to chaos Sunday morning.
When we woke up Sunday morning, it just looked like fires all over the city, and we really weren't quite sure what was going on until I got a phone call from somebody that said, hey, man, have you been on Instagram? You know what's going on down there? So after that, they pretty much locked us down in the resort.
I sat down with Carolyn Voris, a longtime travel agent with Premier Travel. She says they haven't been deterring people away from traveling to Mexico, but she's using this situation to make the point of why booking through a travel agent is vital.
If you're flying and your flights are delayed for other reasons, pretty easy to get a hold of us. versus trying to get a hold of either the airlines or getting hold of your online travel agency that you booked with. They're not as easy to get through. You might be on hours. You book with us. We're here to help you make those changes. Call us, and we're the ones that are going to be working on your behalf.
Travel is still very busy, according to Premier, and they've been telling their clients that now is a great time to book ahead. And if they do have a trip coming up to Mexico, to not cancel it, because they're monitoring the situation there minute by minute to see how it is progressing. I also spoke with Margaret Stevenson, a Eugene resident. She said her timeshare was locked down and no one was able to leave, but that slowly started to change and they're now able to get out and explore.
You can go out if you want. A lot of people are not leaving the hotel, and all hotels and resorts was on a code red. No one left anything, which was good. They were very, very open and made it very secure as best they could.
Reporting in Eugene, I'm Tayton Torgumson.
Again, you want to check those State Department advisories and assess the risk for yourself. Developing tonight, a 15-year-old is facing nearly 24 charges, accused of urinating in public spaces around Bend and then posting it all on TikTok. Police say the teen left his mark, yeah, you know what they mean, on bathrooms in local schools and restaurants, even on a diaper changing station. Come on, they tracked him through those videos. They're sending a message. This type of behavior will not be tolerated. The teen now faces 24 counts of criminal mischief.
We're learning new details tonight about a deadly stabbing in Gig Harbor, Washington, just northwest of Tacoma. We now know the names of the suspect and his mother, who investigators say was among the 4 victims.
Bridget Chavez has the update.
This is the neighborhood where investigators say 4 people were stabbed to death on Tuesday morning. Now, King 5 has confirmed through court records and a family member that the suspect was Alexander Shablikin, and one of the victims, his mother, was Zoya Shablikina. Now, court documents show that Zoya Shablikina filed for a domestic violence protection order against her son in April of last year. In a handwritten declaration, she wrote that she feared for her life. A judge granted a temporary order on April 4th, and records show Shablikin was personally served at his Gig Harbor residence on April 17th. And on May 2nd, the court entered a final order that was set to expire in May of 2026. Now, just before 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, deputies were called here for a reported violation of a separate no-contact order. Investigators say that order had not yet been served, and a deputy was on the way to do so when witnesses began calling 911, reporting a man stabbing people outside the home. One neighbor tried to intervene, says the suspect attempted to kick in his door, sharing these photos with King 5. There's damage and blood left behind. A deputy arriving on scene reported the suspect was still attacking victims, and that's when that deputy shot and killed him. A different neighbor we spoke with today says she had no idea there was an active protection order.
It's definitely heartbreaking. Definitely. It's still, I just can't believe it happened, because it's something I've always bragged about, was how small and quaint and safe my neighborhood always felt. I've bragged to people for years how much I love where I live. Not that I don't love it now, but it's very unsettling.
As for those 3 others who were killed and tried to intervene, they still have not been identified. Tacoma Police is the lead agency on this investigation. I'm told that we'll have an official update from them sometime next week. Reporting in Gig Harbor, Bridget Chavez, King 5 News.
Well, straight ahead on KGW News, how Puget Sound is standing in the way of an ice swimmer chasing a national record. It's the latest in our Environment Northwest series.
Then the golden return for Team USA women's hockey after making history in Milan Cortina. Matt?
All right, Christine, thank you very much. You know what a great sunset that's underway right now. This is live from our Skycam out at the Reserve Golf Course in Washington County. 50 degrees, those temperatures are going to drop quickly. The question is, will you wake up to fog tomorrow morning like many of us did this morning?
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
we have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
All right, so how do you feel about cold water? Really cold water?
No thanks.
All right, tonight we're focusing on one of the most extreme sports on the planet, not for Christine. Swimming miles through the water is barely above freezing.
Okay, would you do it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, see? And as one Washington woman pushes to break records, Mother Nature kind of has other plans. Meteorologist Leah Pizzetti explains.
Sun's out, fun's out.
While basking on this mild winter day.
The sun slows stuff down because it's nice.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
Really good. And gawking at this guy.
See, that just looks super cold. I mean, it's like really windy out there.
This group prepares to plunge.
Ice swimming is a self-induced hypothermic sport.
A sport that requires swimming long distances in water colder than 41 degrees. Melissa Kegler briefly held the U.S. record for distance in 2022. And she's now training to claim that record again.
I get hypothermia every time I do it, but it's intentional, and you kind of train yourself to understand how your body reacts to hypothermia. So it's in a really controlled manner. I would say hearing myself say that kind of makes me sound crazy.
To get her body used to it, she seeks out bodies of cold water, which is never an issue in the winter.
I call it chasing the cold around Washington. I'll go and intentionally train at certain spots around Washington to prepare for ice swimming.
Here at Alki, the scenery is what draws them to train.
Oh, Seal! Hi, buddy. Hey, buddy! Hi, guy! Oh my gosh, he's gonna come over.
Even though it's about 7 degrees warmer than the 41-degree criteria.
Melissa, it's really warm today. Is it?
This helps build that endurance for the coldest water.
It's been a long time since we've been down here yonder at really low tide like this.
Something that for the first time in her more than decade-long ice swimming career, Melissa can't find here.
I think that's the frustrating part, is I've been subjecting myself to hypothermia for 1.5 years. Woo! For Mother Nature to take my starting line away. Too warm, doesn't work.
And the data supports that.
This winter's been warmer than most winters that we've been able to record so far.
Dakota Mascarenas is a University of Washington PhD candidate studying estuaries like Puget Sound. She says records show long-term Puget Sound temperatures increase by about 3 degrees every 100 years. But this winter's anomaly is almost that drastic.
It's 2 degrees warmer this year than the mean of the last 20 years.
That's significant.
Yeah, it is. It is actually significant. It is statistically significant as well as a big deal for the region.
It's partially because of the warmer winter season, but also beyond that, a warming Pacific Ocean that feeds the sound.
Yeah, it's definitely a big domino effect. If the ocean's getting warmer and the air is getting warmer, then the water is definitely going to get warmer in Puget Sound.
Hey, buddy!
And that domino continues to everything living underneath.
How's that guy?
Like critters Melissa has an up-close view of while training, a draw for this sport.
It's amazing because you kind of think of the water as just, a body of water, but it's so alive when you go in it. There could be orcas out there.
While she waits to find a waterway cold enough to compete,
It's a good day for some orcas.
she trains wherever she can.
Okay, we can do it.
Hoping for the sake of everyone,
That's probably my mantra. We can do it.
things will cool down.
My goals change, but right now, as any athlete would want, they just want the opportunity to try.
Wow. I mean, I'll go out on the Willamette in the winter with the wetsuit, the gloves, life jacket, but I'm not trying to go in,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Self-induced hypothermia.
I've had hypothermia, and it's not fun.
No.
So, I mean, it's not pleasant, but
wow.
Boy, that takes the polar plunge to a whole new level, doesn't it?
Totally
Seriously.
new level.
Wow.
Ooh.
Well, good for them. That's super cool. Let's take you to this morning because it was a foggy affair in many locations. This is from Todd Klingler down in Newburgh, framing up that Western Oak quite nicely. Beautiful shot there. A lot of us woke up to scenes like this or experienced that, but look, turned into a great day, and what a sunset that's happening right now. This is live out at the Reserve Golf Course. I'm sure anybody with a view to the west is going to get a good look. We got some scattered clouds out there right now, but it cleared out quite nicely today, and it will again tomorrow, 50 degrees there. Meanwhile, out at Chinookwan's Casino, you see the clearing, but the lighting on the grasses here has been spectacular for about the last half hour. We're beginning to lose it now. The sun is going lower, but there's still a little bit of color there, so fun to see. 49 degrees, the winds are light, and out of the west-northwest. So we had the fog this morning. It wasn't the biggest fog patch we've seen all winter, but it extended down to about Salem, obviously into Yamhill County like we saw in that picture, and through the Portland area and up into Clark County. And tomorrow morning, we probably don't have these clouds here, and with a clearing sky tonight, it's going to get cold. Now, it got cold this morning, down to 30 in Scappoose, 31 in Vancouver and Hillsborough, 33 in Portland. I expect it to be a little bit colder tomorrow morning because we're starting out with a clear sky sooner, and we just have a colder air mass in place compared to this time yesterday, too. In fact, the metro area was basically the coldest part of the state of Oregon this morning, which is rare for winter. See the lows in central and eastern Oregon, mainly in the mid to upper 30s because of the cloud cover they had. And we will have fog again in the morning, but some areas will frost out. When the frost forms, that kind of comes at the expense of fog forming. So you'll probably have one or the other, but there could be some icy areas on roads if temperatures drop to below freezing and then fog sets in. So be aware of that. It shouldn't be too bad though. 46 though by late afternoon, and we'll top out at 52 tomorrow. Now here is the satellite imagery, and you see the showers on the coast here of Washington right down to about the Columbia River, but not much farther south than that. There's a system going into BC responsible for that. You see the clouds off California. They come back Saturday, but I don't think we get rain from that. So since we were just talking about the showers down to the Columbia River, here is the Columbia River from our Skycam at the Astoria column. And you can see it's pretty solid cloud cover there in 46 degrees. But as you go south of, say, Seaside and Tillamook, then we get into the clearing. And there is that system as it is modeled. Showers staying to our north. Saturday, the old one, west of California, comes in, shoots a few showers up into southern Oregon from a line from basically, say, Florence to Eugene, and then points east and points south. I doubt we see any showers any farther north than Salem, unless the system decides to hit the coast a little farther north, which I don't think will happen. Then warm and dry for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And Tuesday night, that system comes along and brings renewed valley rain and mountain snow. That'll be the first of at least three. So not counting this one, that stays to the south Saturday. Here's the Tuesday, Wednesday system. Here's a Thursday, Friday system. Again, a good cold one with good snow potential for the Cascades. And then a cold pattern as we go to next weekend. If this verifies like that, we may see the snow level down around 1,000 feet or so. 51 was our high temperature in Portland today, below average by a couple. 58 in Brookings and Medford. Those were the hot spots this afternoon. So we got a mix of clear and clouds. Notice as you go south, a lot more clear sky that way. 51 degrees in Portland right now, but the temperature will drop pretty quickly. And then frost or fog in the morning with a high of about 52. 53 on Friday, 55 Saturday, partly sunny. Sunday and Monday look beautiful with highs around 60 as we begin the month of March with some really pleasant late winter weather.
Looking gorgeous in that 7 day.
Yeah, nice to see a string of dry days.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, still to come, a fire destroys an Estacada barn, killing 4 rescue horses. The owner speaks about her loss, and the community is now rallying to help. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Welcome back. To the aftermath of an Estacada fire that destroyed a family's barn and killed 4 beloved horses.
Catherine Cook shows us how the family is coping.
Smoke still rising from what used to be Laura Martin's Estacada horse barn a day after fire ripped through it.
My heart sank instantly.
It was Monday morning. Laura's 5 horses and donkey were inside as the flames spread.
My son tried to go in there. He opened all the stalls. He tried so hard to get them to go out, and they just wouldn't. He risked his life.
In the end, only 2 made it out. Benny the donkey and Apana, Laura's 40-year-old mare. 4 other horses died.
Words can't describe it. My horses are my life.
3 wild Mustangs and 1 Pinto.
They're very special. They're all rescues. Yeah, it takes a special kind of person to dedicate their life to that.
Lisa Sink,
Laura,
helped train 2 of Laura's horses. She knows just how special they are.
They're healing animals. Their vibration is on another level, and they can actually heal people.
Laura says her horses were her therapy for depression and anxiety.
I could go and just sit with them, and they would even come and they'd lay down next to me when I'd be sitting out there. And they would just rest their head on my lap and just love me.
It's unclear how the fire started. Investigators can't go in until it's completely out. In the meantime, Laura has other animals she needs to care for. 10 goats, geese, and these 2. All of their feed, gear, hay, and shelter also burned in the fire. A local horse rescue donated this temporary shelter for the surviving equines, and loved ones started a GoFundMe for those who can help in other ways.
I'm overwhelmed with everybody's generosity.
Maybe one day horses will return to Laura's farm.
Everybody wants to help her try and replace them. And we'll find the right ones when the time is right.
For now, their spirit remains, and one certainty.
They knew they were loved. They know.
In Estacada, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, a morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community, or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between. We've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Welcome back. The Seattle Torrent Olympians have returned to the club. 4 of the 6 played on the gold medal winning U.S. team.
Welcome home. Forward Hillary Knight scored the game-tying goal in the final in the closing minutes of the game. She's happy to be back with the Torrent.
We were out realizing our Olympic dreams. We had a whole team here working their butts off, getting ready for the moment that we all came back and could collectively continue this journey on behalf of Seattle Forward. So there's been a tremendous amount of hard work that's gone in. Hopefully this Olympic break was everything that we needed to really jumpstart and take advantage of the second half. And I'm confident in the group that we have, and we're the ones that are able to do it.
I love how she called it an Olympic break.
Oh,
right?
man, yeah.
As if there wasn't a lot of work to do. The tour will face Toronto on Friday. Stick around for another full hour of news coming up in just 2 minutes.
In the meantime, though, let's take a step outside, and wow, what a beautiful evening out in the Rose City. This is our view from the Wells Fargo Skycam. Your top stories straight ahead.